Hello viewers, today we are starting a new session on CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Now I am your instructor Vincent Hope, and so let's jump right into it directly. So Cascading Style Sheets is the language we use to style an HTML document. All this while we've been treating HTML. Now, how do we add style to HTML? We use CSS, which is Cascading Style Sheets. Now, CSS also describes how HTML elements should be displayed, especially on the web page. So let's jump right into it. Let's go to lesson 1. So we work practically. So this is lesson 1. Now let's study the code for lesson 1. Now this is doc type here, HTML, which we have done in our HTML class. If you want to understand this, you could refer back to our HTML class, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4. So now you will get all these details. So now doc type HTML, which describes HTML document. We have HTML tag. We also have the head tag. Now these three we have highlighted now from here to here. These three ones here, they are all HTML tags. Now we are introducing a new tag, which is this style. You see, every tag we use in HTML, we always have the opening tag. Then we also have the closing tag. So you see, you have style here. You come here, you see style here too. This is the closing tag. So in between the style is where you add your CSS code. In between this tag, now for example, now here in this coding here, I will highlight the one that is CSS. If I highlight this down to this point, let me put it in red color, let me bold it. So all this information here, style, is the CSS code. Now let's examine it. The style comes in between the head tag. This is the head tag here. This is the closing head tag. In between the head tag, you have the style tag. You also have the style closing tag. Now it says body. The background color is light blue. Close, that's for the body. H1, which is heading 1, you see that in CSS. The color is white. The text align here is center. You close that tag. You close that code. Then on the paragraph, you have the font family is veranda. The font size is 20, and you also close. Then, if you look at this, is the style here. Now the style is closed here. The heading tag is closed here, which starts from here. Then the body, which we're going to add the main characters we're going to have. We have the H1. Remember, H1 is colored white, text align center. So testing cascading style sheets. This text here is going to be color white and aligned to the center because it's on H1. Then paragraph here, which is checking out this paragraph P. Look at the style here. Font family veranda, font size 20. Do we have any other thing here? Now, no, we close the body. Then we close the HTML tag. So let's see practically how it works. Let's go to our lesson here. I have already done it. So let's just view it. So I double click this CSS1, double click it. Now look at it here now. Testing cascading style sheets. Checking out this paragraph. Now let me open this information in Notepad. Remember, Notepad is one of the softwares or one of the code editors we use for HTML. So I open it. I go here, right click here on the CSS tab. I go to edit with Notepad++. So open with Notepad++. Let me minimize this. Now look at it here now. Let's see exactly how it functions. Okay, it's not sure. Let me reduce this so that we can bring it down. Let's bring out this text, this paragraph here. So it will show inside the, okay, beautiful. Let it show inside the recording screen. Okay. The recording screen. Okay. Take it here. I'm trying to shift it to a position. Okay, we have it here. So I want to just right here. And I bring this one here. I move this window here, this code window. Picking it. Let me pick it out. Okay, it's still not. Okay, let me just reduce the size. I'm reducing the size. Okay, sorry. This is it here. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Fine. So I have it on two sides. Now let's watch it carefully now. Doc type is HTML. We have HTML opening tag. Where is the HTML closing tag? This is the HTML closing tag here. We have the heading opening tag. This is the heading closing tag here. Now this is the style where we add our CSS components. Style opening tag is in between the heading and the style closing tag. Now let's check what we have done. The body here, the background color is light blue. This is the background color. We can decide to change the background color. Let's click this code. We type remove this background color. Let's change it to yellow. We type yellow. As I type Y, I type this yellow. Select this. Okay, let me save it. Let me run this again. Press enter. You can see the background color here has changed to yellow. Now, so you can change it to any color you like. You can change it to green. Also change this to green. Or gray. Let's take gray. Let's enter. Save it. Come here. Press enter. You can see it's changing. The CSS is styling the document. Now H1, because this background color, yes, we have shown the background color. Then we have H1, which is the heading 1. This is the heading 1. Testing cascading style sheets. Look at it here. Testing it. So it is, what is the code for that? For H1, the color is white. The text aligned in center. Let me first change the color to white. Let me check the color of that one. Let me change it to red. Click on it. Save it. Click on this one, press enter. You can see it has changed to red here. Then the text align. Let me take it to the left. Select it here. Click save. Click it and refresh it, or just come click refresh here. You can see it has moved here. Now, so we can do that. We can play around with it. So then we come to the font family. The font family here is Veranda. So you can change any to any font. Let's say Times New Roman. Times New Roman. We'll look for the different characters. We have Veranda. Okay, let's check in Microsoft Word what we have Veranda. Let's check other options here. We have Arial black. So let's come back to the code here. Arial black. So let's check this. We say Arial black. Arial black. Save it. Refresh. You can see it has changed to Arial black. So whatever character you want, you change it. Then the size of the font size with the size of the text, we can decide to make it 20. Click save here. Refresh on this side. You can see the size has changed. If I make it 60, save it. I do save it. Then I do a refresh here. You can see it is grown bigger. So you can see how CSS styles this document. So let's make progress. Now we go to lesson 2. So we have done that. So now let's go to lesson 2. In the lesson 2, we're going to describe how the CSS syntax. Syntax simply means the format where it works. So now the format is the selector, which is the H1. Let's bring out that document back on Notepad pad. You can see the H1 is the selector here. Then the declaration, the color here is blue. So color blue. Here we selected red. Then let me bring it back up. So color blue. Yes. Now the text, this is font size. We have font size here 60, this is 12. So we have declaration, property, value, property, value. So that's how the syntax or the format at which you code your text in CSS. So let's do a brief explanation here. Selector points the HTML elements. You point to the HTML element you want to style. So this is the selector now, H1. Then you are styling the H1 here. Look at it. It's pointing into this. Secondly, declaration blocks contains one or more declarations separated by semicolons. This is a declaration color blue. This is another declaration font size 12. Then every declaration has a CSS property, name and value separated by column. CSS property like color, blue, font size, which is the property. Color, which is the property, font size is the property. Then multiple declarations are separated with semicolons, and declaration blocks are surrounded by curly braces. So this is one declaration here. This is another declaration. If you want to separate them, you see a curly brace here, curly brace here. The same thing. This is one declaration, H1. It opens with a curly brace. By the time we have finished the declaration, you close it here with another curly brace. So that's how it works. So a syntax format example, for example, P, which is for any item in the paragraph. The color is green. The text align is left. Now we're going to do that, but let's go through the document, the syntax. So P is the selector, which we have talked about in CSS, that points the HTML to the style you want. Color is the property, and green is the property value. Property and property value. Property, font, and property value. Then text align is the property, and left is the property value. Now let's see another code in here before we come to lesson 3. Now we see this one here. This is the doc style HTML heading style. We start with the style here. So if we highlight this, for example, so where's the CSS? This is this place. Let's bold it. Let's make it red. Okay, so the style here is paragraph. The color is green. The text align is center. Then you close with the style tag. So this is the CSS here, the style tag. Let me embold this too. Okay, so we are here now. So now let's check it out. Come to program here. Let's take this one, CSS2, double click it. Now see, this one is different from the first one. This is CSS1, which is what we do. We have CSS2. Let me close this. Now let's open the HTML and CSS coding. So let's open it in. Let me bring it down so that we can see how we are opening it. So bring it down here. Okay, let me bring this here, this window. I want to bring it down. Let me see. Can I bring it down? See the notepad. Okay, let me bring. Okay, this one. I bring it down. Okay, I click move. Bring it down. I bring it to this point. Click move here. English. Okay, bring it here. I just want to pick this window. Okay, let me just reduce it. It's wasting my time. Okay, let me just bring. Okay, I open it in code editor. Let me just right click this. I open with a notepad editor because it's wasting our time. Now let me minimize this, and I bring out the page. This is the page. Let me align it with the code so that we can see how it all looks like. I'm trying to align it with the code. Okay, yes, fine. So let's look at this code now. So HTML, now let's go straight to the style. The style, this is the style. The paragraph, the color is green. What is in the paragraph? Hello ISP students. Look at it here. Hello ISP students. The color is green. Then the text align is center. The text align is center. Then another paragraph style. This paragraph with CSS. You see it. Now let's change the color to what do we use? We can say, let's say blue. The color is blue here. Okay. We save it. We refresh it here. You can see it has changed to blue. The text align, which we've done before, we can make it right. Save it and refresh it. You can see it comes to this side. So whatever we adjust on the style, let's make it back to center. It's aligned there immediately. Refresh. So we are working on the CSS. So this is for that. Now let's make progress. So we now go to let's go to the MS Word documentation. Now let's go to CSS selectors. Now lesson 3. A CSS selector selects the HTML documents elements you want to style. There are 5 categories of selectors. Simple selectors select elements based on name, ID, class. Combination selectors select elements based on specific relationships between them. Pseudo class selectors select elements based on certain states. Pseudo element selectors select and style documents, style a part of an element. Attribute selectors select elements based on attributes or attribute value. Now let's do some quick practical on this. Now let's come down immediately. Let's scroll it down. The first one we're going to work on is the CSS element selector. This selects elements based on the element name. Example, below, all elements in this paragraph tag, which is P, elements on the page will be center aligned with a green text color. Let's watch it. The document tag, HTML head, and this is the style, which is what is important for us in CSS. Then the paragraph, because what we want to style, we open with an opening brace, text aligned center, color green. Now we've closed the tag here. Now if we come to the paragraph, all content will be affected by the style. Now we have something here called paragraph ID, but let's quickly jump into the practical. Let's come to this point. Now CSS as an element selector, let's double click it. Now look at it here. Okay, now let's open it in WordPad or in Notepad++. Right click it. We'll come to edit with Notepad++. Now let me minimize this so that we can have it side by side. Okay, so now the style here, text align is center, all the texts in the paragraph, all the contents, and these ones are centered. Now the color green is also centered too. Now there was something that was introduced there which we will explain as we make progress. You see P here, ID is equal to para 1, which is this paragraph 1, because the first paragraph 1. This 2 is also added, paragraph, and this one. So this is what happens for element selector. What did we say about the element selector? Let's go back to our documentation. It says what? The elements on the page will be center aligned with a green text color. All the P tags, whatever happens in the P tags here, are all going to be affected by this styling. Now let's make progress. Let's come to specific. Let's come to the CSS ID selector. The ID selector uses the ID attributes of the HTML element to select a specific element. A specific element, I repeat. The idea of an element, which I like identification, is unique within a page. So the ID selector is used to select one unique element. Let's make progress. Now, this to select an element with a specific ID, write hash character followed by the ID element. Now, let's take a simple example. This is the document style here. Everything, we come to the style tag. Now, the ID is hash para1, open braces, text align center, color red. Close it, style. Now, the paragraph ID that is going to affect is this ID, PID equals to paragraph. That means check ISP. That means this check ISP is the only element that's going to be affected by the text align center and the color red. The second one, which is this paragraph, is not affected by the style, will not be affected. Now let's check it out in our program. Let's come to this place. Okay, the ID selector here. Let's double click it. Now let's see it. Now this is the ID selector program. Let's open it up in Notepad++. Let's open it up in Notepad++, or look at it in Notepad++. So let me minimize this. So now you can see the style, the para affects the para text align center color red affects this ISP. Now, is the text align is center, check ISP. That's the only one affected. Now, this paragraph is not affected by the style. This text here is not affected because it is not, the ID was not specified to this. So that is how the ID selector works. So if you want to just style a particular element within a page, so that's how it works. Okay, so let's make progress. Now we'll go to the CSS class selector. The CSS class selector, the class selector selects HTML elements within a specific class attribute. This to select elements and specific class, write a period character followed by class name. Now let's see how this one works. We come down here. Now we click dot center. Now you see now, let's watch this one now. This one has no dot, it's para 1, and the ID affects only a text. Now a class, when you talk about class, normally a class is a group of people. So this class usually affects everything within the space of what it is defined. Now dot center class text align red. So H1 class equals to center affects this. Then paragraph class equals to center on point also affects this. Now let's check the program for it. Now this is the class selector 3.1, double click it. Now this is the class selector. Now let's bring out the code behind it. Right click it, go to edit with notepad, minimize this. Okay, we have them side by side now. So this is the style now. That's the style, center, text align, color red. Anything within this class should be text aligned and colored red. Now if we come back, H1 is affected. H1 class equals to center. The class is center, which is what you said in the dot center. Check out ISP, you see it here. Then the class center on points, see it here. So if I don't want the class to affect this, you can see it now. I can always decide to remove this. If I remove this class, for example, move this class opening tag. So I right click, you can see it has not this other code here is not affected. So let me Control Z, which is undo it. I'm back here. I save it. I also this. It is now affected. So we're making progress. Then we go to, let's see, the universal selector. The universal selector selects all HTML elements on the page. That is, you can see how it works. The style, asterisk. That's why asterisk is used for universal, open braces, text align, color green, this. And closing tag. Now let's see how this one work. The universal selector. Let's take an example. Let's see the HTML. So the universal selector. Now we double click this TS 2.2. This is the universal selector. Let's open the code. The code here, edit Notepad++. Let's minimize this. Okay, so now you can see the universal selector text align center. Color is green. It affects everything on the page. So hello world, which is H1, is part of it. Every element of the page will be affected. Look at it here. The paragraph, the paragraph, the paragraph. So despite you have an ID, para ID, me2, P2, the universal selectors overrides all these ones and affects everything within the class. Affects everything within the page. So that's how you use the universal selector. Then finally, we have the group selector. Let's double click let's go back to our documentation. The group selector. Yes, so the group selector, this selects all the 80 elements within the same style definitions. Example, H1, H2, and P elements have the same style definitions within the same style definition. So let's say, for example, H1 text align center color red, H2 text align center color red, H3 text align center color red. Now that is what is called the group what? Same as H1, H2, P, that same document open by text align center. So instead of doing it one by one, you can do it together like this. Then we come here. So H1 here, look at what's hitting H1, H2 here, smaller heading, P paragraph. So it affects, this is a group selector. So let's go back to our group selector program. Double click this, you see how it looks like. Let's open the code and edit with this. So we see it here. Let's minimize this. If we minimize this, so this is the code. Now HTML heading, then the style. This is the style H1. This is the CSS styling for H1. Align center color red. It's the same thing for H2. Align center color red. Same thing for the paragraph. Align center color red. Now you can also, is the same code, the same thing that affects this H1, H1, 2. So these three can be combined as a single one like this, H1, H2, H3, close, then text align center color red. Now what is there? Hello world, which is this big one here, the head one, smaller heading, this one, then this paragraph, this is a paragraph. So say hello world, today is a good day. So we save this and we refresh it. You can see how it is affected here. So there you have it. We have, what have we treated so far in CSS? If we had to go through it again, we have treated that CSS is actually CSS is a language used to style HTML documents. And to style HTML documents, you start from the style. You insert all your codes here. Now we also looked at the formats. We said you have a selector, you have a declaration, and you have the property, you have the values. And we tested different. We have different types of CSS selectors. So there you have it. You have learned today several things in CSS. So you go forward, practice. If there's any questions you would like to ask, please drop your comments under this video and ask us any questions, interact, and any area you require us to cover, don't fail to let us know. So my name remains Vincent Hope.